Welcome to Mayhem CDH, where questionable decks meet questionable pilots.
For this week, Paldea Evolved is out and in full swing, so we're jamming some Pokemon to see two powerful decks throw down. With that being said, let's check out the pod today. First, we have Brayden on Chien-Pao EX, an aggressive deck that seeks to use Baxcalibur to accelerate hard, reuse discarded energy, and Hail Blade its way to victory. And Quinn on Gardevoir EX, a play from behind deck that builds up a board while leveraging Iono and Recyclers, accelerating with Gardevoir EX, and grinds its way to a win.
And now, with each pilot in their respective corner of the screen, let us begin. And for those of you in the Ames area, stick around to find out how you can get 10% off your next Mayhem Ames purchase.
Brayden flips Chien-Pao EX and Quinn flips Mew. Brayden draws and discards 2 cards to play Ultra Ball, fetching up a Frigibax to the bench, and discards 2 cards to play another Ultra Ball, fetching up an Origin Form Palkia V to the bench. He activates Chien-Pao EX, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand, attaches 1 to Chien-Pao EX, and passes. Quinn draws and plays Battle VIP Pass, fetching up Radiant Greninja and Ralts to the bench, and a Level Ball, fetching up another Ralts to the bench. He activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, and activates Mew, looking at the top 6, grabbing and activating Battle VIP Pass, fetching up another Ralts and Manaphy to the bench. He attaches a Psychic Energy to Ralts and passes. Brayden draws and evolves Origin Form Palkia V into Origin Form Palkia V-Star. He attaches a Water Energy to Chien-Pao EX and plays Lumineon V to the bench, fetching up and playing Irida, fetching up a Baxcalibur and Nest Ball. He plays Nest Ball, fetching up another Chien-Pao EX to the bench and activating Chien-Pao EX, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand. He plays Rare Candy, evolving Frigibax into Baxcalibur and accelerates 2 Water Energy onto his bench Chien-Pao EX and attacks with Hail Blade, discarding a Water Energy from his bench Chien-Pao, knocking out Mew. Brayden takes a prize card, Quinn moves Ralts to active, and Brayden passes. Quinn draws, evolves his bench Ralts into Kirlia, and activates it, discarding and drawing 2. He plays Level Ball, fetching up and evolving his active Ralts into Kirlia, activating it, discarding and drawing 2, and discards 2 to play Ultra Ball, fetching up evolving his last Ralts into Kirlia. He activates Kirlia, discarding and drawing 2, and passes. Brayden draws and activates Chien-Pao EX, fetching up 2 Water Energy, retreats Chien-Pao EX for Lumineon V, accelerates 2 Water Energy onto Lumineon V, and uses V-Star Portal, attaching a Water Energy to both of his bench Chien-Pao EX and Lumineon V from his discard. He attacks with Aqua Return, knocking out Kirlia and shuffling Lumineon V and its energy back into the deck. Quinn moves Kirlia to active, Brayden moves Chien-Pao to active, takes a prize card, and passes. Quinn draws and plays Super Rod, shuffling Ralts, Kirlia, and Zacian V into the deck, and activates Kirlia, discarding and drawing 2, and evolves his bench Kirlia into Gardevoir. He plays Iono, with both players putting their hands to the bottom, with Brayden drawing 4 and Quinn drawing 6. He evolves his active Kirlia into Gardevoir and activates it, looking at the top 2 and putting both into his hand, plays Fog Crystal, fetching up a Psychic Energy, and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding it and drawing 2. He puts Zacian V to the bench, attaches a Psychic Energy to it, and accelerates 3 Psychic Energy from discard onto his active Gardevoir, placing 3 damage counters on. He attacks with Brainwave, putting 15 damage counters on Chien-Pao EX, and passes. Brayden draws, plays Starmie V to bench, attaches a Water Energy to his bench Chien-Pao, and activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand. He follows it up with Irida, fetching up a Radiant Greninja and Superior Energy Retrieval, plays Radiant Greninja to bench, and activates it, discarding an energy to draw 2. He discards 2 cards to play Superior Energy Retrieval, putting 4 Water Energy from his discard to his hand, accelerates 2 Water Energy to Starmie V and Palkia V-Star, and accelerates a Water Energy to Baxcalibur. He attacks with Hail Blade, discarding 2 Water Energy from his active Chien-Pao, knocking out Gardevoir. Quinn moves Gardevoir to active, Brayden takes a prize card, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws and plays Fog Crystal, fetching up a Ralts to the bench, activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, attaches a Psychic Energy to Gardevoir, and plays Cresselia to the bench. He follows it up with Iono, with both players putting their hands to the bottom of their decks, with Brayden drawing 3 and Quinn drawing 6. Quinn accelerates a Psychic Energy to Gardevoir, Zacian V, Ralts, and Cresselia, putting a damage counter on each, retreats Gardevoir for Cresselia, and attacks with Moonglow Reverse, fully healing his team and knocking out Chien-Pao. Brayden moves Chien-Pao EX to active, Quinn takes 2 prize cards, and the turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws, activates Chien-Pao, fetching up a Water Energy and attaching it to Baxcalibur. He plays Boss's Orders, switching Cresselia for Gardevoir, and attacks with Hail Blade, discarding all energy from Chien-Pao EX, Starmie V, and Baxcalibur. Gardevoir EX is knocked out, Quinn moves Cresselia to active, Brayden takes 2 prize cards, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws and plays Super Rod, shuffling 2 Gardevoir EX and 1 Gardevoir into his deck, and discards 2 cards to play Ultra Ball, fetching up a Gardevoir into his hand, and Level Ball, fetching up a Kirlia into his hand. He activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, evolves Ralts into Kirlia, and activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2. He attaches a Psychic Energy to Zacian V, retreats Cresselia for Zacian V, and plays Boss's Orders, switching Chien-Pao for Baxcalibur. Quinn passes. Brayden draws and plays Irida. With Knockout inbound, Quinn sees the writing on the wall, and Brayden wins the game. Brayden flips Origin Form Palkia V, and Quinn flips Zacian V. Quinn draws and plays Battle VIP Pass and Fog Crystal, fetching up 3 Ralts to the bench, attaches a Psychic Energy to Zacian V, and passes. Brayden draws and discards 2 cards to play Ultra Ball, fetching up a Chien-Pao EX to the bench, Irida, fetching up a Lumineon V and Battle VIP Pass, and plays Battle, fetching up a Frigibax and Radiant Greninja to the bench. Brayden passes. Quinn draws, evolves Ralts into Kirlia, and activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2, and discards 2 to play Ultra Ball, fetching up an evolving Ralts into Kirlia. He activates Kirlia, discarding a card and drawing 2, plays Manaphy to bench, and activates Zacian, fetching up and attaching a Psychic Energy to Zacian. The turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws and plays Professor's Research, discarding his hand and drawing 7, and Rare Candy, evolving Frigibax into Baxcalibur. He discards 2 to play Ultra Ball, fetching up an evolving Origin Form Palkia V into Origin Form Palkia V-Star. He accelerates 2 Water Energy to Palkia, retreats Palkia for Chien-Pao EX, and activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand. He activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, plays Chien-Pao EX to bench, and uses V-Star Star Portal, attaching 3 Water Energy from his discard to his active Chien-Pao, attaches a Water Energy to Chien-Pao, and attacks with Hail Blade, discarding all Water Energy attached to Chien-Pao EX. Zacian V is knocked out, Brayden takes 2 prize cards, Quinn moves Kirlia to active, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws, plays Fog Crystal, fetching up a Psychic Energy to his hand, and plays and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2. He activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2, attaches Reversal Energy to his active Kirlia, evolves his bench Kirlia into Gardevoir EX, puts Mew to bench, and plays Super Rod, shuffling Zacian V and Gardevoir EX into the deck. He follows that up with Professor's Research, discarding his hand to draw 7, activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2, and discards 2 cards to play Ultra Ball, fetching up and evolving his active Kirlia into Gardevoir, and activates Gardevoir, looking at and drawing the top 2. He accelerates 3 Psychic Energy to Gardevoir, putting 3 damage counters on it, and attacks with Brainwave, knocking out Chien-Pao EX. Quinn takes 2 prize cards, Brayden moves Chien-Pao EX to active, and the turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws and plays Nest Ball, fetching up a Chien-Pao EX to the bench, and activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand, plays Switch, switching Chien-Pao for Radiant Greninja, accelerates 3 Water Energy to Greninja, and attacks with Moonlight Shuriken, discarding 2 energy and knocking out Gardevoir. Brayden takes a prize card, Quinn puts Mew to active, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2, and activates Mew, looking at the top 6, putting Pal Pad to his hand and the rest to the bottom. He plays Pal Pad, shuffling Boss's Orders back into his deck, activates Gardevoir, looking at and drawing the top 2, and plays Super Rod, shuffling Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir into his deck. He follows it up with Level Ball, fetching up a Ralts to the bench, attaches a Psychic Energy to Mew, retreats Mew for Gardevoir EX, accelerates 3 Psychic Energy onto Gardevoir EX, putting 3 damage counters on it, and attacks with Miracle Force, knocking out Radiant Greninja. Quinn takes a prize card, Brayden moves Chien-Pao EX to active, and the turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws and activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy, accelerates them onto Chien-Pao, and attacks with Hail Blade, discarding all energy from Chien-Pao. Gardevoir EX gets 12 damage counters, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws, evolves Ralts into Kirlia, activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, and activates Kirlia, discarding a card to draw 2. He activates Gardevoir, looking at and drawing the top 2, and plays Boss's Orders, switching Chien-Pao EX for Baxcalibur. He attacks with Miracle Force, knocking out Baxcalibur. Quinn takes a prize card, and with nothing left, Brayden sees the writing on the wall, and Quinn wins the game. Brayden flips Chien-Pao EX, and Quinn flips Cresselia. Brayden draws, activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand, and Battle VIP Pass, fetching up Frigibax and Origin Form Palkia V to the bench. He attaches a Water Energy to Chien-Pao and passes. Quinn draws and plays Battle VIP Pass, fetching up Radiant Greninja and Mew to the bench, and Level Ball, fetching up a Ralts to the bench. He activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, plays a Ralts to the bench, attaches a Psychic Energy to Cresselia, retreats Cresselia for Mew, and activates Mew, looking at the top 6, putting Level Ball to his hand, the rest to the bottom, and plays Level Ball, fetching up a Ralts to the bench. He plays Collapse Stadium, discarding Cresselia from the bench, and passes. Brayden draws and plays Rare Candy, evolving Frigibax into Baxcalibur, activates Chien-Pao, fetching up 2 Water Energy to his hand, and plays Irida, fetching up Radiant Greninja and Ultra Ball to his hand. He discards 2 to play Ultra Ball, fetching up an evolving Origin Form Palkia V into Palkia V-Star, plays Radiant Greninja to the bench, and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2. He retreats Chien-Pao for Radiant Greninja, accelerates 2 Water Energy onto Radiant Greninja, and activates V-Star Star Portal, accelerating a Water Energy onto Radiant Greninja, Palkia V-Star, and Chien-Pao EX from his graveyard. He attacks with Moonlight Shuriken, discarding 2 water energy, knocking out 2 benched Ralts. Brayden takes 2 prize cards, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws and activates Mew, looking at the top 6, failing to find, putting all to the bottom, and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2. He plays Manaphy to bench, attaches a Psychic Energy to Mew, and plays Professor's Research, discarding his hand and drawing 7. He activates Kirlia, discarding a card and drawing 2, discards 2 to play Ultra Ball, fetching up a Zacian V to the bench, and activates Zacian, fetching up a Psychic Energy and attaching it to Zacian. The turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws and activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2. He plays Lumineon V to the bench, fetching up Boss's Orders, retreats Radiant Greninja for Chien-Pao EX, and activates it, fetching up 2 water energy to his hand. He attaches a water energy to Chien-Pao, accelerates a water energy onto Palkia V-Star, and plays Boss's Orders, switching Mew for Kirlia, and attacks with Hailblade, discarding all energy from Chien-Pao. Kirlia is knocked out, Brayden takes a prize card, Quinn moves Mew to active, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws and activates Mew, looking at the top 6, putting Fog Crystal into his hand and the rest to the bottom. He activates Radiant Greninja, discarding a land to draw 2, plays Worker, drawing 3 and discarding Collapse Stadium, and activates Zacian V, fetching up a Psychic Energy onto Zacian. The turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws, activates Chien-Pao EX, fetching up a water energy to his hand, activates Greninja, discarding energy to draw 2, and discards 2 to play Superior Energy Retrieval, returning 4 water energy from his graveyard to his hand. He accelerates 3 water energy onto Lumineon V, attaches a water energy to Chien-Pao, accelerates a water energy onto Palkia V-Star and Baxcalibur, and plays Lake Acuity. He follows it up with Switch, switching Chien-Pao for Lumineon V, and attacks with Aqua Return, shuffling Lumineon V and its water energy back into his deck. Mew is knocked out, Brayden takes a prize card, Quinn moves Zacian V to active, and the turn moves to Quinn. Quinn draws, plays Fog Crystal, fetching up a Psychic Energy to his hand, activates Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2, attaches a Psychic Energy to Zacian V, and plays Artisan, destroying Lake Acuity. He follows it up with Iono, with both players putting their hands to the bottom, Quinn drawing 6 and Brayden drawing 2, and plays Super Rod, shuffling 3 Ralts back into his deck, and activates Artisan, fetching one of them to his bench. He discards 2 cards to play Ultra Ball, fetching up another Ralts to his bench, and attacks with Storm Slash. Chien-Pao EX gains 15 damage counters, and the turn moves to Brayden. Brayden draws, activates Chien-Pao, fetching up and attaching a water energy to Chien-Pao, and with enough water energy to knock out Zacian, Quinn sees the writing on the wall, and Brayden wins the match.
For those of you in the Ames area who stuck around, come to Mayhem Comics and Ames this week and ask for the YouTube discount. You'll be asked the question, who won? Answer correctly and get 10% off your purchase. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to catch future videos, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.